Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambeau channel. Attorney John Deaton interviewed Jeremy Kauffman, who is the CEO of LBRY, which is a crypto platform, and they have their own coin, which is LBC. And it's absolutely astonishing. This interview, it was almost a half hour long, and I listened to the whole thing as I was walking my pet peeve at a local park earlier today. And it is offensive and absurd how the SEC is tackling those that are trying to operate in good faith in crypto, and you may well be aware of that. But the CEO of LBRY, he highlighted the degree to which, and he used this word, he said that he's highlighting the degree to which the SEC is behaving like the mafia. That's what he said. And there's a clip of this interview that went on a little over 1 minute that Attorney Deaton shared on social media, and Attorney Jeremy Hogan happened to have watched that, and he said, this clip from John's interview with LBRY is insane. So I want to share with you some of the specifics and some of what Attorney Jeremy Hogan and Attorney John Deaton had to say on this topic, because frankly, some are arguing that the implications of this case with LBRY are going to be even more impactful to the broader world of crypto than what is happening with the SEC versus Ripple case. And then also I want to share with you this story for the later part of this video. Here's a headline from Cointelegraph. European Parliament votes against proof-of-work ban, providing huge relief to the crypto industry. And so for those of you that may not have been in the know, there's actually a risk that in the EU, proof-of-work cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin could have just been outright banned, which I think would have been absolutely horrible. So I'm going to share with you some of the specifics as well as thoughts on the topic from Attorney John Deaton, because, man, the degree to which crypto is just attacked the world over is insane. But before going further, I want to be clear, I do not have a legal or financial background of any kind. I am not offering legal or financial advice, and you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto-related topics, but just as a hobby and just for fun. And so I want to run through part of this article from several days ago from CoinDesk, just to kind of set the table, and then I want to get into the comments from Deaton. But here's a headline from CoinDesk. This tiny blockchain startup's tangle with SEC could end up as landmark case. And I'll tell you this too, and this is crazy, but LBRY, they also did not have an ICO. There was no initial coin offering, just like Ripple didn't have an ICO. Still didn't matter. So check this out. It's a blockchain startup project that few people have heard of, involving a cryptocurrency that barely anyone trades. But the saga of LBRY is being closely tracked by lawyers who say the low-profile case, now before the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, could have massive implications for the key question of which cryptocurrencies might be deemed to be afoul of regulations and why. The SEC's civil lawsuit against LBRY might end up setting a regulatory precedent for hundreds of small-scale crypto projects, security lawyers interviewed by CoinDesk said. That's true, even though LBRY's token, LBC, has a market cap of just $21 million. Yes, 21 million with an M. A tiny fraction of XRP, the 39 billion with a B cryptocurrency, at the heart of the much higher profile case by the SEC against Ripple Labs. And so you know what the strategy is here. And I'll just tell you this now because I don't want to forget this. In the interview with John Deaton and LBRY CEO Jeremy Kauffman, he literally said that the SEC told him, we can make this very expensive for you. He literally, that's disgusting, isn't it? So in order to try and strong arm LBRY into doing what the SEC wants, they're basically threatening to bankrupt the firm. Just to bankrupt the company. That's the strategy. Bankrupt these smaller companies. So, and from the interview, it doesn't sound like the SEC is going to have success. They think that they'll be able to monetarily take this beating. But literally, that's the SEC's actual approach. Like, just imagine, you're operating in good faith and your government is telling you we want to destroy you effectively. And they're not providing a path forward. Jeremy Kauffman made that very clear. He's like, just tell me, we'll do just about anything. What do we have to do to become, to make sure that we have a path forward? And said the only thing that you can do is to come in and register with the SEC. Well, how does that work with a decentralized system? How the hell does that even work? And see, he said this. Frankly, that's the only thing they can't do, right? And so take a look at this. A judicial opinion in the LBRY case will have much more impact for people looking for clarity than the Ripple case, said Grant Golovson, a third-party lawyer who advises crypto startups and who's not involved in the LBRY litigation. There are so many projects that did similar things to what LBRY did compared to what Ripple did, he said. So this is a big deal. So it's not just Ripple, and it's not just XRP holders that are under attack. They're coming after, frankly, everyone. And here's a quote from Jeremy Kauffman, too. He told CoinDesk the following: "If LBC is a security, every other cryptocurrency is a security. We are not trying to compete with the existing financial system. LBC is used for its intended purpose, not for speculative reasons." Well, doesn't that sound familiar? It's the same story with XRP. It really is the exact same thing. And so here's a tweet from attorney John Deaton, and he shared this. This is the clip that I was referencing. It's a 1 minute and 20 seconds. This is what I was referencing towards the beginning part of this video. And John Deaton wrote the following: "The SEC goes after a platform hoping to disrupt publishing. Jeremy Kauffman's vision of LBRY is to do to publishing what Bitcoin did to money. Imagine an uncensored YouTube. The SEC is protecting us from such a platform by making them bleed money." And that's pretty much it. And so I don't pretend to know a ton about LBRY, but yes, effectively, they want people to be able to share content, whether it's videos or whatever, and they basically are against censorship. That's pretty much it from what I've gathered at this point. So again, I don't pretend to know a ton about LBRY or LBC, but I know enough to know that what the SEC is doing is absolutely repulsive, and that's why Jeremy Kauffman said that they're basically the SEC. They're behaving as though they're the mafia, basically, and so he ended up encouraging. He said anytime he speaks to anybody operating in the world of blockchain, he encourages them to not cooperate with the SEC because, frankly, they had the same approach as Ripple, as in, hey, here's what we're doing. We're just being fully transparent. Jeremy Kauffman argues that LBRY and he, along with LBRY, leading LBRY, nothing but transparency to the SEC. Here's what we're doing. And all it did is make them a big target for the SEC. That's all that it did. Operating in good faith, it just made them a huge target. And then there was this. So here's what Jeremy Hogan wrote after seeing this 1 minute and 20 second clip. He wrote, "This clip from John's interview with LBRY is insane. Is this how a government entity acts nowadays?" And so in this clip, this is the one where the SEC literally told him, "We can make this very expensive for you." And then he made the comment about SEC being like the mafia. That's what's in this clip. And then John Deaton saw that and wrote to Jeremy Hogan and said, "Jeremy, the only other feelings you will get if you watch this half-hour interview other than anger is sadness. Our country and our public servants must be better than this." Yeah, here, I'm on the same page there. They're despicable humans as far as I'm concerned. And then John Deaton also wrote this. "Recall the document from the Brad Garlinghouse David Schwartz meeting with Clayton and Hinman. Frustrated," and so what he's referencing there is there was a meeting between them, Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse, Ripple CTO David Schwartz, and they met with Billy Boy Hinman and former SEC Chair Jay Clayton. And frustrated, Brad yelled the following. This is what John Deaton's writing here. "Ripple is living in purgatory because of the lack of clarity." Now Clayton tabled the issue and said, "Now tell us more about the technology. The meetings are precursors to suit." And so that's all that happened. Jeremy Kauffman went in with his crew, and they gave a presentation to the SEC about what they're doing. Like, hey, how do we become compliant? And then they just sued him. That's it. Better to just not play ball, apparently, right? And then there was this from Eleanor Terrett, who is a journalist at Fox Business Network. She checked out this interview. She watched it, and she had the following thoughts on this. "Lots of things stood out to me in this interview, but here's what resonated the most." And it's a quote from Jeremy Kauffman. "I tell blockchain entrepreneurs to obscure everything you're doing. Hide as much as you can. There's no sense in which by being a good guy, you're going to avoid it." End quote. And then Eleanor writes, "It's crazy to me that this is the kind of sentiment the SEC has fostered among blockchain entrepreneurs. That even if you play by the rules, you're still going to get dinged because there actually are no rules. This is certainly a case to pay attention to." So anyway, it grinds my gears. I'll tell you what, I'm going to go ahead and link to John Deaton's interview. I'm going to try and remember to do that anyway. So if I don't forget, then there will be a link to it in the details section of my video. I encourage you to check it out. It's just it's crazy what's included in there. Now, speaking of just crypto in general being under attack, let's switch gears to this story now. This one was titled, European Parliament Votes Against Proof of Work Ban, Providing Huge Relief to the Crypto Industry. Earlier on Monday, members of the European Parliament's Committee on Economic and Monetary Affairs voted against a version of Markets in Crypto Assets, or MICA, bill that could have effectively banned proof-of-work-based cryptocurrencies within the EU. This comes as a huge relief for the crypto industry, whose representatives had previously warned about the threat of a hardline regulatory scenario. And so look, this wouldn't have impacted XRP directly, but having the crypto asset class under attack, no, I'm not for that. I'm pro Bitcoin. I've held Bitcoin since November of 2017, and I don't like politicians and bureaucrats picking winners and losers. I despise it. And this is actually a closer call than you might think. I think down here they cite that the people that voted against this restrictive version of what was drafted, 32 voted against it, 24 voted in favor of it. So it seems like it really wasn't even that far off. And if you think that this would have been good for XRP specifically, again, I encourage you to change your thought on that. And John Deaton spoke to that effect. Check out what John Deaton had to say about this earlier today. The day the SEC versus Ripple case was filed, claiming present-day XRP constitute unregistered securities, and every day thereafter, I've argued tribalism is the greatest threat to crypto. Many people and XRP haters either celebrated or ignored it, living in their tribal bubble. Many of us recognized the XRP lawsuit for what it wasn't. It wasn't filed for the sole reason of enforcing U.S. securities laws. If it were, the allegations would have been limited to specific sales made by Ripple at specific times. Instead, the SEC attacked the token itself. I pleaded with intelligent leaders in the Bitcoin community, i.e. Anthony Pompliano, that claiming secondary market XRP sold independent of Ripple 8 years after the fact and arguing it retroactively was a threat against all crypto. Just read the complaint. The SEC didn't allege fraud or misrepresentation, but intentionally used fraud-like language to divide the community and make the lawsuit appear to be a Ripple-only issue. On January 1st, 2021, I filed a writ of mandamus claiming it appeared to be a divide-and-conquer strategy. Bitcoin maxis applauded the SEC. Ethereum founders like Joseph Lubin celebrated the SEC, publicly praising the amazing job the SEC was doing in this space. It was wrong. Government overreach is bad anywhere and everywhere. The market should choose winners and losers, not government. The proposed EU ban on proof of work is also wrong. So pause, just to note, and you probably already gathered this, why do they have a trouble? Why is this even an issue? Proof of work cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, why are they being targeted here? Because they use a lot of energy relative to, I don't know. I guess it doesn't matter what it's relative to. They just think that it's a lot of energy. And which still, look, I think it's silly to be using inefficient cryptocurrencies when there are efficient ones. But again, I'm with John on that the market should just figure this out. And so if everybody else doesn't care, okay, fine. I don't either. And the truth of the matter is that out of all the energy used on the planet, barely any is as a result of the usage of Bitcoin. So yes, fine, XRP, way more efficient, not disputing that. But I don't like to see Bitcoin being attacked just because it's not energy efficient. I don't like that. Let the market figure it out. Anyway, John continues. The proposed EU ban on proof of work is also wrong. The XRP case is not about enforcing securities laws. Likewise, the proposed ban is not about energy consumption. I'm sure some XRP holders will welcome or celebrate the proposed ban. Some will be happy because they mistakenly believe it will give their token of choice an advantage. Many others, no doubt, probably feel like Welcome to the party, a-hole. I'm censoring that, of course. Some of my fellow XRP holders will disagree with me, and that's okay. We can disagree on some things and still be on the same team. So I'm 100% on board with the ideas that John Deaton is sharing here. I completely agree that way. Even if this this ban would help XRP, and I don't think it would, but even if it would, I'm still against it. No, I want the market to figure this stuff out. It's completely unethical for these people to be doing what they're doing and choosing winners and losers. So whether it's the SEC going after XRP or the EU going after Bitcoin, no, the answer is no. You can't let these people get away with this stuff. And at least, thankfully, right here, for now at least, they haven't. I'm not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.